Old School Bodybuilding Clothing Company. If it's been 3.5 hours since you last ate protein and now you're starting to freak out, you are old school. If watching someone sit on a hammer machine for 5 minutes between sets playing with their phone pisses you off, you are definitely old school. OSBBC.com for the hardest training athletes.
Welcome back to Live with, I'm Dave Palumbo, and today's guest is the 2021 IFBB Miami Muscle Beach Classic Physique Pro Champ, Zeek Andrews, at only 24 years of age. Welcome to the show and big congratulations.
Thank you. 25, but close. Hey, it don't matter.
You just turned 25?
Last year. It's just a number though. But yeah, man, definitely excited and honored to be a part of this show right here today, and looking forward to answering some questions and going from there. Let's get it.
I'm actually more excited to actually see that big trident you won. I always love when promoters come up with unique like trophies or things to give away.
This is actually, I've always wanted something like this, some type of sword or some type of like, something I can actually hold on to versus just a trophy.
There's some great pictures on your Instagram of you posing with that thing. You know, the funny thing is that thank God you actually live in Miami, because I don't think you could have brought that on an airplane, right?
I know, man. Like, so, it's crazy. Like, when I went to, when I got my pro card in 2019 at the NPC Nationals, right when I was packing up for the flight, I was leaving the Airbnb, and I have everything set up. I placed my trophy on my briefcase, and I went to go, get settled, basically go take a shower, get ready, and it fell off my briefcase and it broke in half.
Oh shit!
Yeah, man. So I just fitted in there, and but yeah, man, definitely. This could do some damage, though.
Oh,
for
yeah,
sure.
It looks like it's not like plastic. That's like seriously real, right?
Oh yeah, it's definitely.
You look like Aquaman with that thing, man.
Yeah.
You want to do like a posing. You want to like get yourself spray painted to look like Aquaman and do like some kind of a photo shoot with that thing.
Yeah, we can. I definitely want to take some cool pics with this. It'd be pretty cool. I didn't even think about that.
All right, so you're 25 years of age. You've been training for about 10 years now. You've only been bodybuilding really, for about 4 years as far as competition goes. You won the 2019 NPC Nationals. That's where you got your pro card. I don't think a lot of people saw you coming. I think you caught me by surprise. I didn't, when I saw the pictures, Chris Aceto, both of us were really impressed with the way you looked in this win. But I don't think anyone would have ever predicted that you were going to come in there and dominate that show like that.
Yeah, so... my mindset is I basically I like to stay low key until, obviously when you show up, you kind of know in a way what your competition's like. But to be honest, since I ever started competing, I did my first show, I was 22.
Yeah.
And then from there, I've always, my motto is, stay humble but hungry. I never really cared about the competition that was coming there, and I always just kind of show up and basically be the best I can be and not worry about anybody else. And, not put myself on blast and, say, oh, I'm going to win this, I'm going to win that, because everybody's out there grinding. So
I'll tell you this one thing. You did New York Pro, and I remember seeing you on stage because I commented to Chris when we did the analysis of the show that I thought you were not standing straight on as much. You were like kind of like three-quarter turning, and I thought you were losing some of your width that way. And I think maybe Danny Yunin etched you out that way because he was his posing presentation was really good. It seems like you corrected that for this Miami Muscle Beach show. But I was very impressed with your conditioning at that New York Pro. I mean, between you and Danny, and you told me you didn't even prep for that. You could have flipped the coin. I don't think anyone would have complained with you winning that show as well. Was that a disappointment, or was that an encouragement when you placed second?
It was definitely it was definitely an encouragement. I could
Okay.
say, you know, being able to stand up to some of the, you know, top athletes in the world, and especially, you know, Danny, as he's an Olympian,
Right.
4-time now.
We'll put those
So,
pictures
you
back
know,
up there.
basically I
Good.
took that as a, hey, I'm up here
The one that you just had.
and we're just going to make improvements and get to where we need to get to. And I was actually prepping for the Milwaukee Pro. Really what made me do the New York Pro was I basically moved from North Carolina to Florida,
Right.
like Williston, Florida. And from Williston, Florida, I went out to Orlando to do a photo shoot at the Iron Religion gym.
Mm-hmm.
And then I spoke with my fiance and my sponsor, and they said, you know, the New York Pro is about 10 days away. So I basically was like, you know what? I look pretty good in these shots.
You were ready. I mean, you were. No one would say you weren't ready for that show. No way.
Yeah, I was definitely like, you know what? We can peak for it. Conditioning's on point. We just gotta, you know, make sure peak week's on point and go from there. And I was pretty tired, man. You know, doing all these shoots and traveling, you know, back and forth. And the one thing is, like, I've always like tried to practice routine and get me more fluent in you know, just displaying my physique.
Right.
And I can say that I didn't even practice any type of routine, honestly. I just always really focus on the mandatories.
You're very good at the mandatories.
And really,
you
yeah,
flex
mandatories.
The thing that I
And
find, excuse me, the thing that I just want to stop you for a second, because the one thing that I found very impressive is that you know how to flex every single muscle group. You have very good body awareness on stage, which a lot of guys who are kind of new to the sport don't have, but you are able to flex everything at the same time, and that's something that, once again, I don't know if that's because you practice a lot or you just have just a good mind-muscle connection, but you absolutely know where your body is in space on that stage.
Yeah, I definitely feel it, especially getting more experience. I can tweak some poses, like, you know, the side chest. I can keep my chest up more and create less openings between my arms.
Yeah.
And little things like that. You know, with my legs, I can you know, like you mentioned, you know, staying more of 3/4. You know, that will actually cause you to lose some width on your thighs and your legs, and, you know, overall just the quad to, you know, the X frame. So, you know, I adjust things, and you know what, I always used to stand out to the side with one of my legs, and then for that show, you know, I wanted to try something a little bit more classic, so I kept my foot in front and kind of created more of a classic look versus, like, you know, creating more of a mass look. So that's probably why he beat me in a way, because he's more mature and he was able to show up more because he had, you know, a little bit more separation in some areas.
I think what happened was what you were doing is you were narrowing yourself by putting that foot in front of you rather than out to the side, and so you weren't showing your true width, which I think you have a tremendous width on stage. Yeah.
And I actually got some feedback from you know, the head judge, Tyler Mannion.
Sure.
You know, he basically was just like, you know, a little bit more quad width and back density, and that's kind of, you know, overall, you know, obviously you want to improve everything, but that was one of the key points. And then the posing, you know, obviously comes, you know, with, you know, experience and practicing. But those are the things I really need to work on. And especially, like, for my class, you know, that density is going to be, you know, key.
Look, conditioning wins shows, and you got conditioning in spades. And, you know, Danny Unin is a seasoned, you know, classic guy. He's a top, you know, 6 Olympian. So, I mean, that has to be pretty encouraging for you that you kind of pushed him to the limit there, because Danny was really good at this show. So I have to think that you're going to be in that top 7 conversation all day long, you know, come Olympia time.
I feel like I have a really good chance of turning some heads there and definitely improving in these next, you know, 17, 16 weeks, and really stay tuned in to my body and really feed it and train, you know, the way it needs to be trained, and just, you know, add that muscle to that area without going over, you know, my weight cap, which is 192.
What did you weigh at the last show?
For Miami, actually came in a little bit fuller versus the last 2 shows. The last 2 shows, New York and Milwaukee, I came in at 188. I could have got down a little bit lower, but, like, I started filling out Thursday night, just slowly, always clean carbs. I never go out, eat a cheap meal like burger and fries, like none of that stuff. I always weigh all my stuff out and really just taper it in through the day and taper it in through the night, and then, I don't do no crazy stuff, man. That's where people go wrong. It might work for some people, but I like to keep it consistent, because if I have to adjust some things or, I don't want to spill over. And you have to think that Classic is not really, it's about size, but you have to be dry. You have to be lean, aesthetic look. You can't have your stomach digesting food when you're on stage because it's going to blow out, So I always try to get fast digesting food that's going to work for me versus something my body's not used to and I haven't eaten in several weeks,
Yeah, I think you got to use what works for yourself. I mean, obviously, guys don't just all of a sudden, do things that they've never done. You test it out, weekends in advance.
Yep.
You do test runs, and you obviously know what works for your body, what doesn't work. And I think that's why people always ask, what to do. And I'm always like, well, what did you do? If it didn't work, then try something else. If it did work, then stick to what works. Don't try to reinvent the wheel if you don't need to.
Exactly. And that's where people go wrong. They try to do all these little trips and, little like additives and like, oh, let me eat, 2 things of peanut butter and rice cakes, sugar, honey. Like, no, like if you coming in, just keep it consistent up until like, last couple of days, really monitor everything, even the salt, even getting down to that, sauces, like you have to monitor everything and don't really overthink it, because when you start overthinking stuff, you start stressing and
right. Well, that's
and
why
it's really
have
good.
A coach here sometimes, too.
Yeah.
Do you have do you work with someone?
So basically, pretty much, I've always been self-coached.
Okay.
I did have a coach that coached me for the NPC Nationals, which coached me for the last 2 shows, which was New York and Milwaukee.
Okay.
I reached out to him because, I kind of needed a little bit more mentorship and a little bit more monitoring, and he helped me. He helped me get my pro card. He helped me these last 2 shows. And then, moving forward, he was like, hey, I want you to take a break. And I was like, as soon as I walk off Milwaukee show, the stage, I emailed IFBB and I was like, hey, I want to register for Miami, because the next day I was actually going to move there.
Oh,
and I was like, why not? Like, why not try to like keep, it's a week away.
Yeah.
And he's like, I want you to take a break. I'm not going to cut you for this show. You're on your own. So I was like, okay. So
weird.
I was like, all right, cool.
It's a little bizarre. You live right there. Why not do it, right? It's not like you.
I mean, like it was, and I was trying to make my name here. I want to try to be able to, get myself out there. And it's a very great opportunity. Just like you said, you were kind of surprised there wasn't too many people that competed.
Yeah.
So, and it's crazy. Like the guy that beat me, that placed second in Milwaukee, was there too as well.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So he got second, and I, came in, I got first. Right. So, hey, it's all about, the time and place. So I was there and I showed up and I came in fuller.
Yeah.
And that's what they wanted. So that's what I made happen.
I think it's important. I think it's important to compete more often, especially early in your career, because stage experience is something that you can't buy that, You have to just experience it. And I think that, like you said, just the way you present your physique, let these different judges look at you, give you feedback so that you can perfect your look, so that when you get to an Olympia stage or an Arnold Classic stage, for instance, you can do well, and you can dominate there, right? Because it's a learning experience. You do one show, you really sometimes don't even learn that much. I know guys that have done one show, they won the show, and then they think that they're perfect, and they show up at the Olympia and they get slammed because they just really didn't have enough experience. It was just kind of like a lucky show they went to,
Yep, and it's crazy, and one thing that I've always never really done was, I never really actually went up to the judges for their feedback. I kind of just, looked at myself and be like, all right, this is what I need to improve on.
Sure.
But the last 3 shows, it's kind of crazy how we kind of linked up. I met Tyler, at post show. I went to the bathroom, he was in there and we kind of talked about what we needed to improve on. And then Milwaukee, I was actually going back in there to the venue because I misplaced something. And as I was coming through, the head judge was like, "Hey, I got something for you," because he had, obviously the checks for the, the winnings.
Oh.
And he's like, "Hey, here's some feedback." And he said, get a little bit more arms, a little bit more legs. And then the judges from the, what's his name? Trey. He told me for the Miami show, he said, don't hide your legs, hit more front shots.
Right.
Everything else, pretty much it looks good.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what I got. And so all these little things I'm going to, improve on. So
Sure.
moving forward, I know what I need to do. And like, I'm going to revert back to what you said. I actually do have a coach now, pretty well known in the industry, Adrian. His team name is Cuts.
Mm-hmm.
So he's definitely going to stay on point with me. He's got a lot of Olympic athletes on his team. Mm-hmm. And, I take this serious just like he does. He lives this, and that's his lifestyle. And,
Right.
We've really, really got a good plan going so far. Obviously coming off a show, you're going to rebound. So we're going to, keep that under control. And then moving forward, we're just going to slowly increase the food and, stay healthy in the process, man. It's all about longevity in this sport too. You really, really got to be healthy. So it's how we're approaching things, and it's going to take it, every week, and even like every 3 days, like I'm checking in with him. So I'm just making sure I'm on point.
Right.
Really the key thing is the diet and the training. Like a lot of people get it wrong. They get it twisted. Like it doesn't matter what you take, man. Like if you don't have those two things, you ain't doing nothing,
Mm-hmm.
And that's where people go wrong. Like they just think about, all these little, shortcuts. There's no shortcut for hard work. So you got to put it in, man.
Amen to that, man. Yeah, you got to look. We know food builds muscle, training in the gym builds muscle. The supplements, the gear, that kind of is just like a little bit of an enhancement. But if you don't have your training and your eating down, and you're not resting enough at night, getting your recuperation, you're not gonna nothing. Your body's never gonna change. And I see people all the time. I know guys from the gym. They have not changed for 30 years. I've seen them in the gym. They've never changed. And they all take gear, and they all think supposedly they're the bodybuilding lifestyle, but they never look any different because they're not doing things the right way. They don't have the eating down. They miss meals. They don't. The training is pretty good, but they don't really push too hard in the gym because they're too busy socializing, and that's most people who work out right there. You just very few people will push it to the limit, and that's what it takes to be the best. And you know what? You were the best in Miami, and you're going to be going to the Olympia this year. That's a huge, huge pat on your back, and I want to wish you the best of luck up there.
It's crazy, man. When I first started competing, I never saw myself up there. I'm going to be honest with you, man. I always did it because I competed because it was a competition within myself versus like, oh, I have a dream to go to the Olympia. No, I basically did it because I love this lifestyle, and I love the passion that it drives me every day. And one of the quotes that I actually learned recently was results driven, passion fueled. So that's how I live in a way as well. And also kind of my motto is like stay humble but hungry. So you want to always basically where you come from and the people that support you, and where you're at today. You want to give thanks. You don't want to be ungrateful. And, you obviously, everything can be taken away. So you got to make sure that, you count your blessings, and, you live day by day. And also the hunt, man, you got to stay hungry. What do we do when we go out? Animal goes out to go get food. He's on the hunt. So you got to be careful. You basically just got to imply those things every day and know that, you just do what you love, and things will come. And I can go on a really big story on, this, how me and my fiance met. It was actually through my old coach. And this is what driving me today too. A lot of heart, a lot of passion that's driving me closer to her. We met through my old coach. Met him back in 2017 at a local show. He does like the tanning booth sign-ins for Elite Performance Tanning. They use Pro-Tan. And long story short, he was coaching her at the time, and I saw a picture of her on his page on Instagram, and I was like, wow, you know, she looks beautiful. I clicked on her story, and she was kind of like talking about, you know, her experiences and stuff like that. And one of her things that she said that really stuck to me was like, you know, you try to adopt somebody's personality to fit your own. And I was like, wow, you know, that's what I'm going through right now, you know, with my past relationship. You know, like I said, you know, when I turned pro, I just kind of like pushed all my bodybuilding and everything away. And I should have looked at it at a different level, like a professional level, and I didn't. And COVID and all that stuff happened. But I was always put down, and, you know, long story short, I threw a little emoji 100 sign to her, and we just kind of like started talking and vibing. And that was back in September. And, you know, here we are today, man. We're like closer than ever. We've been through a lot, and we're going to keep going through a lot. We're actually creating our own platform and trying to help people. So it's really going to be really big. And her name is Francesca. She's Italian. She's actually going to do her first wellness competition here in Florida, at the Mel Chansey show. And I'm actually, you know, coaching her for that.
Cool.
So, you know, I'm gonna give her a shout out. Her her Instagram is very
shout out, that's for sure. Now, you know, it's amazing how the I always call them meaningful coincidences, how you meet people and how things happen. If you hadn't worked with that coach, you would have never met the girl. Things don't happen by chance. Everything has got some intelligent design behind it, and, you know, you got to just kind of follow your nose, and it'll take you in the right place. And I'm glad you guys met, and I'm glad you guys are doing well together. And that's awesome. Great story.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, man. And like I said, it's a long story, but I'm gonna give you the brief, man. And it's a blessing. It's a very, you know, once you find somebody that you truly know that they're there for you, and you know that they're gonna be there for you no matter what, you know, you can't let them go, and you can't be ungrateful for it. You know, you really got to take the time to appreciate, you know, what somebody is giving you. And absolutely. I can tell you right now, I would not be in this position today without her, because she, like I said, she's pushed me, and the people that supported me, you know, I have a very good sponsor. He is actually definitely, you know, put me in the position where I need to be. He's paid for my show tans, my show fees, airfare, food, everything that's, you know, brought me to this level. He's even came to the, you know, like putting a roof over my head to where I can compete, you know, be able to live this lifestyle. Without him, I wouldn't be here today either. So big shout out. His name's actually Proactive Wear on the Instagram. So cool. Hey, he's definitely blessing me. So I'm not gonna, you know, give him any, you know, I can't say nothing. You know, he's got a lot of whatever, but never with me. So big shout out to him.
Look, you know what? The people that support us, you got to show gratitude towards, because everyone, you know, has different people who are behind them that make them the person they are. Your girlfriend, obviously, you know, your sponsor, you have a support team. That's important. And like I said, you did what you had to do. You're going to be at the Olympia, and hopefully we're going to see you in that top 5 call out. And, you know, we're going to hear a lot more from Zeek Andrews in the future. And I appreciate you joining us and sharing your story with us.
Yes, sir. Definitely an honor, man. And like I said, we can, you know, we can move forward and just see me progress through the weeks. Definitely, you know, also had the honor of training with OG Rich Gaspara too. So, cool. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, you guys, I'm sure you guys know each other. Of course. You know, it's a small world. Yeah. So I'm definitely I'm gonna keep living it, and awesome. Looking forward to coming back here again and doing this. Maybe I looked a little bit different next time, a little bit more jacked, but.
I'm sure you would. Zeek Andrews, our Miami Muscle Beach Classic Pro champ, and with that great trident, I'm a little jealous of, but maybe one of these days I'll get one.
Hey, we can link up. Let's go have a little Aquaman party.
I was saying we could do some spearfishing in my backyard. So.
Yeah.
All right, man. Good. Congratulations, and we'll see you at the Olympia.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
That's going to take us to the end of another episode I'm Dave Palumbo with Zeek Andrews. We'll see you next time. Good interview, Zeke. Thanks, man.